Good evening, everybody. I'm Reverend Rob Banaszak, and I am the pastor of the Institute for Spiritual Development in Washington, D.C. Welcome to our Wednesday evening meditation. And it's the third Wednesday of the month, and it is the Wednesday that I try as much as possible to draw from a different set of cards than we usually draw from, and that is this beautiful deck of the contact cards. This is a deck of cards that engages us with the concept of extraterrestrials and relates those concepts of extraterrestrials, some of the ones that are in the most popular vernacular, to spirituality in really beautiful ways. Each card comes with its own short story, which I also love. And I think it gives us some insight and again, begins to connect us with the power of the universe that is expansive beyond our own tiny universe and connects us with beings and life that goes beyond what we know to be life here on Earth. And as usual, we're going to shuffle these cards and we are going to choose one together. And the way we do that is I always choose the top card so that you can see that I'm choosing it, so that I'm not reaching in with my own intuition, but that in fact, you're watching me shuffle them. You are adding your energy by holding your hands up or really, sending it with your eyes, however you choose to do it. It is the energy that we are gathering here this evening that will drive and then guide us to pick the card that we are supposed to see. And then we'll sit back, we'll listen to the beautiful story, and we'll go into meditation on the card. So I may be going into mute every couple of minutes. Please forgive me as I recover from a short bout of the flu, which is accompanied by some really aggressive coughing. So excuse me, please. So let's start. Let's shuffle these cards. Hold your hands up. Send me energy however you want to send me. And if you are listening or watching on our YouTube channel, either recorded or live, you can still add your energy to these cards. And don't forget, of course, to hit the subscribe to our channel and to hit the like for this video, and then hit that bell so that you can continue to receive notifications of when we are offering these awesome evening and afternoon and whenever ISD is presenting events. You'll be well aware of them. I just dropped one. I'm not going to look at it. I am going to bend over to pick it up. So just a moment, please. Going back in. Choose the right direction. Yes. All right, let's see what's on that top card, shall we? Our card for the day is Black Hole. Scary. There's the card, and then I'm going to put it with the camera that focuses just on the card so that you can focus and look at the card as I read. All right, so what I'd like to do is to read about the suit of cards that we are looking at, which is the stars suit, and then we'll focus on the black hole. I think we might have even drawn this card pretty recently, if I'm not mistaken. I confused this one with wormhole, but let's read about the stars suit. As we gaze up into the night sky, we see what appears to be a field of small twinkling lights, all about the same relative size and intensity. However, with the aid of telescopes and space probes, we know that stars are far from uniform and that many of those apparently single points of light are actually 2, 3, or more stars in proximity to one another. Stars range in size from dwarf stars, smaller than our moon, and millions of times more dense, to red supergiants bigger than the diameter of our entire solar system, to the crushing singularities of black holes, so small as to be virtually without size at all. The dynamic life cycles of stars symbolize the cycles and outcomes of all the affairs of humans and every other being throughout the known universe. So basically, we are looking at our own life cycles when we look at the stars' life cycles. And before I read this story about this particular card, I invite everyone to relax. And we're going to start a little earlier. So we're going to read the story. We're going to have you get comfortable as you listen to the story, because they are so cute and beautiful in this book. So set up how you need to set up. I remember this card now. The black hole was lost deep in concentration. He pondered and wondered and worried and wallowed within his thick cloak of darkness. Other stars found him aloof and withdrawn. It's true that he pretty much kept to himself, but it wasn't his fault he had collapsed into this black introspection. It's just the way things were. No matter how the other stars coaxed him, he couldn't seem to emerge from his weighty shell. The black hole still faintly remembered what it had been like to be a brightly burning star, and he had shone hotter than most. But now, life was over. One day, his great mass had come crashing in on itself with agonizing density. His days had dissolved into solitary singularity, with one moment no different from the next. And yet he felt the inward tug pulling him toward, he didn't know what, but he was consumed with the pressure of expectation and the promise of great potential. Over and over he reached out with this intense, gravatic grip to pull stray comets and asteroids into his inescapable web. He hoped that they might satiate his need to know what was happening and help him expand once again. However, all they did was add to his accelerating diminishment. Even light brought him no illumination. Depressed, he withdrew even further into his hermetical exile. Finally, a tiny ray of hope sparked the very core of his consciousness. Perhaps, he proposed to himself, the only way out is to go further into myself. I've been searching for answers from the outside and have received only darkness in return. Maybe the light I seek is at the end of my very own tunnel, a passage to the other side of my being. Though he was full of fear, the black hole knew what he must do. He ceased fighting against the inexorable pull within his soul and spiraled inward at a dizzying speed. In an instant, he collapsed into a single point and disappeared from the universe he called home. In the next moment, his awareness exploded outward into a new and wondrous space. He had crossed a threshold into another dimension of being. He looked at himself and beheld his miraculous metamorphosis into a white hole, an unending fountain of energy and light. This reorganized self started filling the new universe with the essence of everything he has ever been, bursting forth in new combinations. Unlimited possibilities sprang from his awareness as he expanded, becoming more ethereal with each ecstatic second. He knew that his acceptance of himself was the key that had allowed him to be reborn and convert his own darkness to glorious light. If we have been drawn to the black hole card, it's time to weigh the gravity of our situation. There may be many crucial portions of ourselves or circumstances in our reality that have been hidden and must be explored. The greatest depth within us is where our answers reside. And to truly know ourselves, we must venture into the center of our being. This may be a dark time filled with morbid fears and deep doubts about who we are, why we are here, and what we're supposed to do. Yet we are rewarded with the rainbow at the end of the storm. We are our own light, shining at the end of every self-made tunnel. This card signifies great transition from our familiar concepts as to yet unrealized potential. However, this process can often seem to immobilize us in the cement of uncertainty. If we feel trapped, withdrawn, or depressed by the apparent collapse of our world, we can take heart that quite often the road to salvation is in the direction we are being pulled. Instead of resisting our inward plunge, we may redefine our depression as compression, that intense, creative imperative that forces us to rethink all that we know and helps us emerge from our black cocoon completely reborn. Though our passage through our dark night of the soul may cut our ties to the rest of the world, the depths of such solitude is sometimes necessary in order to heal the sorrow that is buried under the weight of decades of denial. We are comforted by the fact that the universe is infinite, with an inward direction as well as an outward one, so that even in the face of death, there will always be the promise of rebirth. I don't know about you, but this is truly a most powerful card. I often say that I think people would understand who God, the Supreme, the Force, however we call her, can be reached not by clasping our hands and looking outward to the skies, although she's there, but clasping our hands and holding them over our heart and going inward. whatever journey we're making, whatever road we're taking is going to lead us to that source, and the source with the voice and the answers is not out here, as the black hole discovered. It's here. It's here. And it is so much like the story of the Wizard of Oz, which I have spoken of countless times, which is whatever we need has always been right in our very own backyard, and in this case, our very own universe, which explodes infinitely as it goes in. So I say, let's take a trip there together tonight. And whatever you're going through, this card resonates with you about. Let's just take a moment, see who's with us tonight, and let's just very gently just reach out and take the hand of the person next to you and hold it. Because we're going to go deep within our individual selves, but we're going to make this journey together. And let's know that we each have our backs. We each keep each other safe. That the inward that we go is only a greater inward that we are going as a collective consciousness. So let's just do that. Just imagine yourself reaching out for whomever you see on the screen, whomever you want to take this journey with, whoever is coming to take this journey at another time. And that's how we can settle in and make this journey together. We're ready. So as always, I'm going to make sure I cough this out first, so excuse me. And so let's start by becoming aware of that breath that keeps us safe and strong, that breath that keeps us united and connected and aligned. And if you want to look at the star again to see what the image evokes, or if you want to remember this story as we go, you can just kind of crease open your eyes and look at that black hole card as it swirls through the night sky. And so again, let us breathe together, focusing on the air as it goes into our body. And as it fills our body, and then as it leaves our body, again, inhale. And hold. And exhale. Just allow your breath to return to normal, keeping it filled with intention. Inhaling and exhaling. And as that breath returns to its natural state, let us imagine ourselves focused on our chest area where our heart is. Let's put our hands over our hearts. As we breathe, Let us imagine our entire body folding into where our hands cover our hearts. Folding more and more with each breath. Folding more and more. Going deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. We feel comfortable in this space. We feel safe as we go deeper and deeper. We feel the tunnel-like experience of folding in deeper and deeper. And as we do, we suddenly begin to feel as if we're speeding up faster and faster, going deeper and deeper into ourselves, deeper and deeper. We're getting faster and faster as if we're on a train, as if we're in a chute, like one of those water slides. As we twirl faster in this wormhole, seeing the stars move past us. Until finally we are shot out to this space where now we hear silence, where now we know we have arrived to the deepest part of ourselves. It's here that we allow whatever we experience in this relaxed, safe state to speak to us, to inform us, to let us know what we need to know tonight. About our connection with our deep self. And so I just invite you to go where the music takes you. Catch whatever tone you hear and imagine your presence, your bodiless presence, catching onto it like a wave, like the tail of a comet that spreads far and wide and expands and moves playfully and beautifully. We feel the deepest part of ourselves. We feel connected. We feel brave. We feel ready. And we feel grateful. We hear the voice of the divine as our own voice. And we know that we can choose in this moment to always hear the voice of our divine self in this moment, in any moment. We feel the hand of the person, of the essence that we've taken to journey here. When we reach out, we just give it a little squeeze because we know it's there. And as we gaze over the vastness of this ever-increasing universe within, we know that this is our universe to manifest, to grow, to expand. And with that last squeeze of our ethereal hands, let us choose to return and take our time from this deep, deep, vast universe within to our physical selves. So perhaps we feel ourselves beginning to feel like we're ready to move. Ready to be returned. We feel ourselves swirling. Our essence is faster and faster and faster. And we give one last look before we choose to shoot up that wormhole that brought us here faster and faster. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Back to our physical selves, which we find there by recognizing that breath as it goes in and out, as we inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. And as we inhale, we feel our bodies return. It's like they fade right back into where they were. Never having really left. We feel so grateful to our breath to have held us in this space safely. We choose to return completely by taking our 3 quick breaths, keeping our eyes closed until the final breath. So we inhale and we exhale. We inhale again and we exhale. And our final breath and exhale. Here we are, back, never having left, but hopefully having connected with that deep, beautiful part that we quite often don't even allow ourselves to experience, as the black hole did in his denial, or her denial. So do we often ignore or pretend like the deepest self, the deepest voice, is not always speaking to us, which it is. So if you take away anything from tonight, it's that vision of the universe within, with the joy, the opportunities, the creativity, the explosion, and the love that we all have for ourselves and for one another. I ask you to hold on to that tonight, because it's more important than ever. And with that, I will bid good night to everyone. May you be at peace, may you be in joy, and may you know that you can choose happiness by connecting with your deepest self whenever you decide to do so. Love you all. Thank you for being here.